FMN Nigeria Plc held the 63rd Annual General Meeting, which was an opportunity for the board and management to engage shareholders on the 2022 financial year performance and the prospects for 2023 and beyond. It was coordinated by the Vice Chairman, Board of Directors, FMN Nigeria Plc, Mr. Paul Gbededo.
It is my pleasure to welcome you to the Annual General Meeting of our company.
At the AGM, the Independent Auditors and Audit Committee reports showed that the company kept proper books of accounts in compliance with the Company Allied Matters Act and International Financial Reporting Standard provisions.
We have obtained all the information and explanations which, to the best of our knowledge and belief, were necessary for the purpose of the audit. In our opinion, proper books of accounts have been kept by the company so far as appears from my examination of those books. The company's statement of financial position and statement of profit or loss and other comprehensive income are in agreement with the books of accounts, signed by myself on the 29th of August, 2023.
We reviewed the scope and planning of the audit requirements and found them to be adequate. After the consideration, the committee accepted the report of the external auditors that the financial statements give a true and fair view of the state of the company's financial affairs as at 31st March 2023, having been prepared in accordance with international financial reporting standards. The committee reviewed management's response to the external auditor's findings in the management letter, and we are satisfied with management responses.
Shareholders in their remarks commended the board for the growth in turnover and payment of N2.25k Dividend.
The shareholder want to state emphatically that we appreciate. We thank the board, we thank the management for a dividend of N2.25k, above N2.15k given last year. Please, let's give a round of applause to them.
1.5 trillion turnover is a huge for this year for this company. And 29.something billion profit around the year, Mr. Chairman. 5% increase in dividend payout is not good enough for us. Why am I saying this? If you have paid us 10 naira from the earning per share we had, or 4 naira, that would have been better. Considering this year, financial year that will end next year, most companies will not be able to pay dividend, Mr. Chairman.
I observe that our CSR in the year under review is perfect, because it covered health, education, social welfare, youth empowerment, and community development. This is commendable. Please keep it up. On page 188, awards/events. I observe that we have series prestigious awards to our credit in the year under review. This is highly commendable. Please keep it up. I also observe that we have utilized this annual report judiciously to advertise all our products. This is commendable. Please keep it up. Thanks, and God bless you richly for this opportunity, Mr. Chairman. I appreciate, sir.
They also highlighted areas that the company needs to improve on.
Given that we are into agri, can we begin to look at products, locally produced products that will have huge acceptance internationally, and begin to see how we can begin to manage our FX requirements?
BAGCO, for a lot of years, has been giving us a lot of income, which we share as dividend. But what people now, or what the regulatory authorities are thinking, maybe, is that part of our taxes have been thrown into that place, and we are trying to evade tax, but we are not. So we want whosoever will be considering giving us this BAGCO out to consider the plight of we shareholders.
BAGCO SAC was a subsidiary before. We divest, it become a full-blown, and later now we are talking of divesting 60% of our holding. So, Mr. Chairman, we need explanation. as to why this is happening. Why are we giving out 60%?
In his response, the Vice Chairman of the Board, Mr. Paul Gbededo, addressed some of the points raised by the shareholders, while the Group CEO, Mr. Boye Olusanya, spoke on the plans around the divestment of the 60% shareholding in BAGCO subsidiary.
Virtually all the speakers on the floor today mentioned the issue of BAGCO carve-out, and that we are disinvesting about 60% of that at the carve-out. I'm sure the issues are very clear, to all, and it's something that is required. If not, we won't go that way. At the acquisition of Honeywell, it was required that we have to do this disinvestment, and that is what we are complying with. And I'm very happy that you have given your consent to this carve-out.
As the chairman said, the carve-out of BAGCO was as a result of a regulatory ruling to do with the Honeywell acquisition. However, I must add two key points here. The first one relates to what one speaker said, which was that from a management point of view, we have to continue to look at how best to get shareholder value. And that actually includes looking at certain value chain lines and getting them to report independently within the group, that they stay within the group, but they report in such a way that we can see how well they are performing. Today, when you look at the results, you see food, you see agro, you see sugar, and you see others. It would be nice for us to be able to break the others into a distinct group, of which BAGCO would be one. That's the first one. Two would be, there would be no divestment done without us getting two things from that process. One, an appropriate return for the investment we've made, i.e. an appropriate valuation. And two, a strategic partner who can drive the business moving forward, so that it's not a sale to any party out there. Those two conditions have to be met for us to be able to conclude a sale. I'll go on quickly then to rising costs. As you've seen, the economy the operating environment in particular has taken a couple of hits. You've seen the impact of the removal of subsidy on pricing and inflation. You've seen the impact of FX, which has a direct impact on imported raw materials. And you're seeing the impact of adjustment to cost of living that needs to come with that. It is, in the current economic climate, it is very difficult to pass on fully all the costs to the consumer, because consumer purchasing power is deeply affected. And in order to maintain a certain amount of volume, we have to be able to take some of those costs away from the pricing. So you will notice that there has to therefore be some lag between the impact of the costs we have to take and the pricing that we can effect in the marketplace. Noting that we continue to do things aggressively as management to reduce costs internally, and anywhere that we can see where costs can be managed, we're looking at that in a very aggressive manner. We also continue to look at the product mix that we produce to see how best we can reduce that. But in this climate, it is impossible to pass on all the costs that you've got, because consumer purchasing power is simply not there. So it is well noted, and what you're seeing is that lag, which is something that we are looking aggressively internally at dealing with.
Despite the challenging macroeconomic environment, Flour Mills Nigeria PLC paid N2.25k to shareholders. The expectation is that with the approval of its 60% divestment in BAGCO subsidiary, it will refocus its efforts in creating more value in the agribusiness space that will translate to profitability and a better dividend for the 2023 financial year.